All right, this time we're joined by Michael Benjay and Trevor Cooney of Syracuse. If you have questions, please raise your hand. We'll bring a microphone to you.
Zach Brazil, New York Post for Michael. What's this year and just this run been like for you? You know, you started your career. Obviously, it didn't go the way you wanted. I'm sure the first few years, and now here you are. You know, the face of a Sweet 16 team.
It's been a positive experience for me. You know, personally, just coming off the redshirt year, it was tough sitting out, and then had to go through position changes as well. So it was a lot of adjusting, but everything paid off at the end, and I'm happy for this whole experience.
Over here, Jim Litke, Associated Press. Mark Few from Gonzaga was in there just saying how funny coach is, even though he doesn't show us any of that stuff. What do you guys see that that would fit that description?
Trevor, you want to take that?
No, I mean he is a funny guy, but he doesn't portray that, and he has a real dry sense of humor that he'll throw little jabs or I don't know. A lot of times it's poking fun at us most of the time.
Trevor, talk about just Michael's, you know, metamorphosis from when he got to Syracuse to where he is now. Did you notice a big change after his sophomore year? You know, where he starts playing little and to last year where he obviously became a pretty good player?
Yeah, I mean Michael's obviously always been a really good player, but I think the transition from kind of like a 3 or a 2 to a 1, and that's a big jump, especially in college at a high level. But he made that jump, and that just shows a lot about him and the person that he is and the hard work that he put in.
Left.
Mike Waters, Syracuse Media Group. For both guys, when Gonzaga has a guy like Cal Welcher, 6'10", and can shoot threes, what kind of challenges does he pose when you guys are trying to zone a team?
Michael, want to take that first?
Like any good shooter playing against our zone, we have to make sure we know where he is every possession, and you know, just try to run him off the spots as best as we can.
Trevor, anything to add to that?
Yeah, no, he's definitely a tough person to cover. But I mean, like Mike said, we have to know where he is at all times, and if he's in the high post, we need to have a person there. If he steps out to the wing or to the corner, someone's got to be there to take away his shot and make it tough for him.
Simply, I mean, what's different? I'm sorry, Jay Cohen, Associated Press. What's different for you guys now compared to the 1-5 close to the season? What are you guys doing differently in the tournament that you weren't doing at the end when you were struggling?
Michael, want to take that?
I think we're doing a better job on both sides of the floor. Offensively, I think we're limiting turnovers and we're getting in transition more. And on the defense end, I feel like we're doing a better job of just rebounding and it's leading to a transition offense for us.
Zach Brazil, New York Post. Michael, do you remember who came to you with this with the idea to transition to a point guard, and what was your reaction?
At the time, I think Michael Carter-Williams, that team was the team I was a part of at the time, and I just remember during practice, coach just telling me to run the point, and kind of got thrown in the fire a little bit, playing against guys like Mike and Tyler Ennis, but it just helped me to become a better player.
What was your reaction? Had you ever played point guard before?
At the beginning, it was shaky. I had some silly turnovers. Picked up my dribble a couple of times. It was different. It was a new experience for me.
And back.
Yeah, for both of you, Greg Couch at Bleacher Report. You guys have had a lot of ups and downs this year, strange things happening, coach suspension kind of thing. What's the key to keeping it together through all that? Or what are some of the keys?
Trevor?
No, it's definitely been an interesting year, and I think things have happened that don't normally happen to a college basketball team, and I think that's just helped us prepare for the tournament and everyone just staying strong and keeping together. I think we learned a lot when coach was gone, and I think we grew as a team a lot, and I think that's helping us now.
Any other questions? Right.
Zach Brazil, for Michael again. When coach tells you to run the point, was it like a position change, or was it kind of like let's see what happens here? Could you kind of elaborate more on that move to point guard?
At the time when Coach put me at the point, I didn't really question like what was his reasoning behind it. I was personally excited just to be able to, have the ball in my hands most of the time and be able to run an offense. But it was just like I said, it was a weird experience at the time. But over time, I just continued to get better at it, and happy that I'm playing the point now.
Looking back, how much do you think that's really helped you kind of develop as a player at Syracuse?
It's helped me a lot. Just from a basketball IQ standpoint, you got to make sure everybody's in the right position when you're running sets. You got to be a thinker as well as a player on the court, and it helped my basketball skills as well.
On the left.
Nancy Armour, USA Today Sports. Trevor, you said that you guys learned some things when Coach was out. Exactly what were those things, and why do you think they've helped you at this time during the tournament?
I think we just came together as a team. I think we learned how important he is. But I mean, we were fortunate enough to have great assistant coaches that were able to step up, and coaches that we trusted, and coaches that have been in the system and in the program for a long time. So I mean, if it was to happen in any program, I think we had the right guys to step up and put us in the right direction.
Any other questions for the student athletes? All right, gentlemen, we'll let you go. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, joined by Syracuse head coach Jim Boeheim. At this time, we'll take any questions you might have for Coach.
Zach Brazil in your post. Jim, what made you move Michael over to the point guard a few years ago? He brought it up. He thinks it's been a huge part of his development. What went into that?
Well, the first year he was barely a forward. He wasn't really even a two. So he worked in his first year coming in very hard on his ball handling and shooting. Then the first year he was able to play, we used him almost all at small forward, some at two. But he didn't have point guard skills, but he worked on it, kept working on it. Then last year he played probably a significant portion of time at the point. This year we just decided early that he was going to be the point guard. And we adjusted our offense a little bit. He's not a normal true point guard, but he's gotten better and better, and he gives you a bigger presence there. I think the biggest thing he's done is his judgment's gotten much better. His ball handling's gotten much better. And he is also, it's not crucial, but his shooting has gotten better, which helps you to get defenses up on you, stuff like that. But he's just improved. Probably more or as much as or more than any player I've ever had in terms of from coming in to now. I'd say he's the most improved player that I've had at Syracuse. Hard work, he improved his shooting and he improved his ball handling. And, it's hard when when you're not playing that much at your freshman year, wherever you are, there's a reason for it. You're not quite good enough. And to go from that to being a good player is that's doable. But to go from that and being a really, really good player, if we had won a little bit more, he would have been in the conversation for Player of the Year. His stats are Player of the Year stats. He's got better stats than all the guys who are up there for Player of the Year. He's best defensive player on our team, best in the league in steals, shoots at a high percentage, averages, good numbers, rebounds, assists, everything. His numbers all good, but we didn't fare good enough to get the recognition I think he deserves.
On the left side.
Mike Waters, Syracuse Media Group. Jim, you and Mark Few are friends. When did that friendship really begin? And is it, I mean, a lot of coaches are friendly, but how rare is it for two coaches to be real friends?
We became friends a long time ago. I forget which Nike trip it was. He jumped into our card game and got his butt kicked, and he took it well. He handled it well. He took his beating like a man, and we've been really friends ever since. We went fishing a couple times. He's a world-class fisherman. I can't hold a candle to him fishing-wise. He's really good. And but we've been friends and ever since that, and I think he's a great guy. He's a great basketball coach, but he's a better person, and we've had a good relationship for a long time.
Go back on the right side.
Hi, Coach. Sam Adams from SWX in Spokane, Washington. I was wondering if you could comment on Gonzaga's defense over the last couple of games in particular. How they've been able to shut down two pretty potent offenses here when it counts most.
Well, everybody talks about their offense, but you don't get to this point without playing defense as well. And, obviously they're a tremendous offensive team. That's what I think you first see when you watch them. But I think their defense has gotten better. And, that's why they're here. That's why they've had a tremendous tournament so far. They've beaten two really good teams. I think it's, everybody judges who you beat kind of like by seeds, and you just have to look at the teams. Are they good teams? And they've beaten two really good teams. Seton Hall won the Big East tournament a week before, and obviously Utah had a great year in the Pac-10. So, they're a very good basketball team.
Stay in the back middle.
Hi, Coach. Shannon Spake, ESPN. Congratulations. I heard your daughter won the state championship.
Yeah. She's the only one that won in the family there.
Congratulations. My question is about the family. I know most coaches do have their family with them when they make these tournament runs. But for you in particular, with Julie and your children, what does it mean to them to make it this far, especially given all the challenges that they've seen you go through this season?
Well, they love to come to the tournament. They always have. They've all come every year, and they're invested in it. Jimmy's in Germany right now playing in an all-star team in the Schweitzer games, but he was there last week. Sissy was in the States and everything, so she's missed it. She'll be here. Buddy has been at all the tournament games so far. They enjoy it. They like being around the players. They hang out and go to the gym and get some shooting in. They like that part. They wanted to go to the Olympics, and when we took them, they liked it. Then one year they couldn't shoot, so they didn't want to go back. I said, well, there's going to be around some pretty good guys. He said, no, we want to shoot.
Is it a little bit more satisfying than this year, just given everything, the challenges that you guys have faced this season? You in particular?
I think the tournament always is good when you get to it, and we usually get to it, obviously, because we couldn't go last year, and it's obviously when you miss, and we missed before, not too many times, but, the next year is always, it's good to go. This team is, obviously there's been a lot of ups and downs this year on the basketball court. I don't really focus too much on the off-the-court stuff because every player, every team goes through that. There's always stuff that you don't know about, but what happens on the court, this team has been up and down. We started out great, played great basketball, and we slipped a little bit and lost a couple tough games. And then we started to get back playing well. Then we finished. The finish is not as upsetting to me as it was to a lot of people because the 5 losses, 3 of them were at North Carolina, at Louisville, and at Florida State. And most teams would lose those games. So we lost. We're 2 points down at North Carolina with 40 seconds to go, and they just beaten Miami by 20 and Pitt by 20 at home. So obviously that's a pretty good effort. And the same at Florida State, 2-point game. They had just beat Notre Dame by 20 at home. So those are tough places, and I'm not as upset about that as I think a lot of people are. You have to take into account not who. So many times they'll say, well, this team won 8 out of 9 games, and 7 of them were against teams that are 250 or above in the in the metrics, whatever metrics you're using. Whereas you played 3 teams that are in the top 20 or in that area. So I think all that factors in. But I knew we had I always say we're not going to get in the tournament when we're close. I always say that whether I believe it or not. But I reverse psychology, which never worked the first 4 times I used it. But I knew we had good wins, and once the committee showed that they were looking at the kind of wins you had, I knew we had more than Vanderbilt and a couple teams who were put in early. So I knew with the 2 wins, nobody had 2 wins in the bubbles area against 2 top 20 teams away from home. You know, we were at Duke and neutral court, Texas A&M. So I knew those wins, and we had 8 wins in the top 100. So not many teams had that. I think we played 8 games against the 16 that are still playing. So I think we had the schedule, and we changed that. We went from one year we didn't get in. We were 10-8 in the Big East, and the Big East was great that year. We didn't get in because we didn't have non-conference wins. We didn't play enough good non-conference games, and we didn't beat anybody. So we changed our schedule, and we play 5 or 6 at least good teams, and give ourselves an opportunity to win some of those games.
We'll go second row here.
Kevin Trahan with Vice. I was wondering about, after the Pitt game, your comments about Tyler Robeson and about Tyler Ennis a few years ago. I was wondering if that's ever been brought up in recruiting against you guys, and also if you think those comments worked to motivate those guys.
Well, to me, it's a positive that when I go out, I tell players I'm going to push them. They're going to get pushed, and if they're not responding, I'm going to push them harder. So I think it's a positive. As his AAU coach said, that's what he signed up for. He wants to be a good player, and if he's not doing the things to get there, he's got to be pushed, and that's what I do. I don't push hard back on kids who make mistakes, who turn it over, miss shots. I would never do that. But when you're not doing what you can do physically, I push back really hard. I've done that in a number of cases over the years, whether it's Ronnie Cycli or moving down to Queth Dewaney. The reason we won the Nationals championship is because Queth Dewaney became a real aggressive physical player. And that was a push. It was a hard push for 4 years. And I remember we had a kid, Wendell Alexis, once, and I pushed him really hard. I was tougher on him than anybody now. And his father came in the locker room after one game, and I wasn't sure what was going to happen. He says, "Coach, you just keep doing what you're doing," because he needs it. And I think it's important to push. I didn't go in my mind, I didn't go out of bounds at all with Tyler Robeson, at all. I mean, my only statement was he wouldn't play if I had anybody. And that's just a true statement. If you're not giving a maximum effort, I've never played those guys unless I had no other choice. And he's played well lately. I don't think it's because I said that. He wasn't upset about it, at all. I'm sure he knew that I said anything bad until everybody told him. But he's played well. But he's had good games this year. But his consistency is what we've pushed for, and obviously the first game, 18 rebounds, we might not win that game if he doesn't go out and do that. And in the last game, he had 8 rebounds in the first half, and we were only up a couple, so we needed him. And then the second half, other guys picked it up. But as a coach, you push guys as hard as you can. Most recruits want that, and they talk about that. And parents and AU coaches want to know that you're going to push as hard as you can. We want to develop our players. We get a limited number of so-called McDonald's All-Americans at Syracuse, very limited compared to a lot of other schools. So over the years, we've had to develop players. We've had to push them. And much like with Mike Benajay, I pushed Mike real hard in the beginning. And generally, I only have to do that for a couple years, and then they get the message. And when they don't get it by their junior year, I tend to get real upset. And I always tell those guys, if I wasn't upset, you wouldn't be playing. And if I'm not talking to you, it's because you're not playing. And I don't think you can be pushed into being what we need to have you be. But that's all part of how you coach, what you do. And I don't think I was even a little bit offline with saying the truth. I wasn't trying to motivate him. I was just really making a statement about him, that he should be playing at a different level, effort-wise, not necessarily production-wise, but effort-wise. And that's the one thing I think in coaching that a coach cannot ever accept, ever.
Go third row.
I like the kid. I think he's a great kid.
Zach Rizzo, New York Post. You guys haven't taken a lot of transfers. Why, with Michael, did you?
We really needed Michael. We were down in recruiting for whatever reasons. We needed a guy. We really looked at him as a two-position guy, 2 and 3. We really didn't envision him as a 1. We had a pretty good point guard coming in. We knew that. We had a good point guard. We had a good one coming in with Tyler Ennis, so we really weren't thinking about the point, but we didn't really have 2s and 3s. And so we felt he would be really valuable for us to get a guy that we could work with for a year and develop him. He really was just a 3, and we developed him into a 2. We never envisioned him becoming a point guard, and if I was asked at that time if he could become a point guard, I would have said no. But again, he's put a tremendous amount of work in, and we've kind of fit the offense to utilize his skills as a point guard. We don't do the things that we did with, Michael or Tyler Ennis or Michael Carter-Williams or some of our other point guards. So it's a little different, but his development has been great.
Was there a connection? Did you guys recruit Michael out of
We
high
had,
school?
yeah, we had looked at him, and my assistant is from Washington, Adrian Autry, and he had seen him a lot. I had only seen him one time, and I didn't like him at all. When he went to Duke, and I really didn't think that he was that good, to be honest with you, because he couldn't shoot, and he was not really a guard, and so.
You didn't like what happened?
Adrian liked him. I on contrary to opinion, I listen to people. I have to listen to my wife, but I listen to
So Adrian convinced you?
people, and he was confident. He pushed it. And sometimes assistant coaches are wrong, and sometimes I'm wrong. Recruiting is a gamble. I mean, I've thought some guys were really going to be good, and they haven't been. I thought other guys were going to be a real project. My sister lives in Washington, and she sent me a message once. What did you recruit Jeremy Grant for? What's wrong with you? He didn't make All-Met in Washington, D.C. They picked 10 guys. He didn't make it, and it was a down year. But sometimes those things turn out good. You look smart. Sometimes you recruit a guy that you think's going to be pretty good. And when you're not recruiting the top 10 or 20 players, and even in that group, guys don't turn out. But when you're recruiting somebody, well, Tyler Lyon's a great example. He was 87. Well, everybody's saying, well, what are you doing recruiting him? Well, he wasn't in my mind, no way he was 87. I mean, he was a top 30 player, we thought, and he's certainly proven that out. But I thought Adrian, I believed Adrian, and we needed a guy. We kind of needed a guy. It wasn't like we really had to be careful. We needed a guy. We kind of took a chance. Some people told me that he wouldn't make it, and I went pretty much with what Adrian thought, and I had my doubts the first year, but he really put the work in and got better.
Second row on the aisle.
Mike Waters, Syracuse Media Group. First, Jim, Lukey Jackson's upset you left him out of that group of Quest and Cycling.
Who?
Lukey Jackson.
Oh, Lukey?
Yeah.
No, Lukey. I never got on Lukey too much. He was good.
A guy like Wilcher, 6'10".
I was afraid of his father anyway.
Yeah, I've seen this.
Luke Jackson came looking for me. I wouldn't be around.
A guy like Wilcher, 6'10", can shoot threes. How big of a factor can he be on the court, especially when you're trying to find him while playing the zone?
Well, he's a tremendous player. Doesn't matter what defense you're playing. He's a tremendous player, and he can hurt you inside, outside, in any number of ways. He's as good as anybody against any defense because he's big, he can shoot, he can pass, he's mobile. He's as good as anybody, 6'8", in the country, because he can go outside and hurt you, and go inside and hurt you.
We've got time for 2 more questions.
Greg Couch at Bleacher Report. You're talking about pushing people. What form does that take? I mean, how do you? What's your typical way you go about that?
Well, it's just verbal stuff, yelling and screaming, not necessarily negative. Not necessarily. I don't try to verbal abuse. It's just like pushing. We need you to do better. I never curse at a player. I never have. I mean, I threw something at a player once, but I wasn't aiming at him. And but that was a long time ago. That was 30 years ago. Probably couldn't do that anymore. But pushing players, we all do it. Trust me. Some guys don't, hide it and stuff. It's, I just not afraid to tell you. But our job is to push players. I don't think there's anybody that pushes themselves to their limit, with very few exceptions. I've been around a few that do. Kobe comes to mind, and in terms of guys everybody knows about, Michael in this town comes to mind. But most players don't. Most players, and they all think they're going 100%. They do. There's no player that doesn't think he is, but we can show him a piece of tape where he's going 100%, and then show him another piece of tape where he's going 60, and then they go, oh, yeah, but they don't believe that until you show them, and what they don't understand is we're watching them every minute, so we see him go hard, and then we see him not go hard, so it's really an easy call. It's not like we think we may not be right. We know we're right, and we know they can produce more. And our job is to get, as a coach, your job as a coach is get the most out of your players. That's your job. That's, by and large, forget about all the other stuff. It's your job to get the most out of your players. And we all push. We all push. There's nobody that doesn't push. Some do it a little easier, a little nicer maybe, but we all push. And that's the way players get better. And at the end of the day, they want that. Derek Coleman told me I was pushing him too much, and I'd never come back. He'd never come back to see me again. He's back more than my sons are. So they understand eventually. They may not always like it while they're there, but at the end of the day, I think they have an appreciation that you're just trying to get the best out of them and to help their team win more. And their experience in college is good if they're winning and a winning program, winning team, and they advance in this tournament. They have a great experience, and when they don't get that, that's not so much fun.
All right, everyone, we're out of time. Coach, thanks for your time.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate it.